I'm Rich.
I'm Othello.
I'm Aaron.
And even without Jelly, by our fandoms combined, we're still Fandom United. So welcome tonight. First of all, we want to talk about Godzilla. Who saw it? Who saw King of Monsters?
I have not going to see it yet.
I did see it. You have a business to run. Otherwise, I would have invited you.
That's nice. That's nice.
It was a 10 a.m. show. What do you want me to do? Like, you had just got here.
You know what though? Even if I can't, hey, Rich, I was doing this. Thought, maybe you'd want to go. Oh, you can't? Okay. Well, I just want to extend the invite. Whatever.
He's your best friend, man.
I mean, it's the
thought
I think that's very one-sided.
There's plenty of seats too. I mean, well, not plenty, but it was a lot more empty seats than I expected to see, which was kind of disappointing. I mean, it's a monster movie. I guess I shouldn't have expected it to be like Avengers Endgame full, but still.
But it's Godzilla.
Okay, here's the thing about Godzilla, though. I mean, okay, in the shop, we get 1 out of 100 people come in asking for Godzilla stuff. Mm. But, I mean, the people who do Godzilla are really faithful to it and love it and can't get enough of it. Those same people aren't necessarily fans of the new Godzilla stuff because there's been a lot of bad stuff, starting with that, wonderful Matthew Broderick movie.
How do you know?
Why we gotta bring that up? That's not a thing.
No. That's the thing that I think started these people on the hate for new Godzilla. But some of these people are coming in and saying really good things about this movie. So I think it's turning around for that fandom where they're starting to do some stuff right for them, and it's bringing them back in.
For me, the clear mark of whether a fandom is successful or not is that they grab younger fans while still holding on to the older fans.
Right.
My 15-year-old son wanted to see it just as bad, if not more, than I wanted to see it. He is a huge Godzilla fan. And it was so cool to me to have him like, hey, that's Rodan. I'm like, I know who that is. Thank you. I know. This isn't
it's been
new
around
for me.
Way longer than you've been around.
Yeah, he's super excited about it. And the movie first of all, the movie is amazing. I saw a reviewer called it the Creed of Godzilla movies.
Okay.
So if you look at Creed as it is to the Rocky movies, Creed elevated the boxing movie genre in general to the stratospheric heights as far as drama, being well acted, being well filmed, everything. Godzilla does the exact same thing for the monster franchise. It's just kind of like, you can't make a monster movie anymore. You don't get Pacific Rim 2 anymore. You got to come with it now, right? You can't do Atlantic Rim and go straight to DVD. Okay, you can't do that anymore. You just can't. This movie was too well filmed. The effects were amazing. Just there was only a couple scenes with Ghidorah where he was chasing someone and it looked like, but the rest of them, all the monsters that showed up, just looked amazing. The story was well done, and it is a very, very good follow-up to the 2014 Godzilla, which I hated that movie. I mean, it was good, but it was too much people and not enough Godzilla. There's only Godzilla for like 8 minutes in that movie.
I was going to ask you if you liked the Bryan Cranston Godzilla.
No, not so much. Because it was 8 minutes. 8 minutes of Godzilla. When I go see a Godzilla movie, I don't care about the people. If I cared about people, I'd watch the show about the people. I'd watch Manzilla. I wanted to see Godzilla.
You just want to see a bunch of kaiju fighting it out.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the Transformers movies.
Right.
Stop giving me people. I don't
care
about
the people. I wanted to see the big robots.
First 4 minutes of Bumblebee when they're on Cybertron in that big battle.
Give me that.
Give me a 90-minute movie that's about them struggling, the Civil War. Doesn't have to be all action, but let the conflict be with those characters. Mm-hmm. It's in the title. Transformers.
And some people. No, it's just Transformers. Same thing with Godzilla. There was actually one reviewer who complained that it was too much kaiju fighting and not enough of exploring what the humans were going through. We don't care. It's a monster movie. Nobody cares.
It wasn't called Humans.
And they never really focused on the human element in any of the old movies.
Right.
there was a setup
there
in the
wasn't
first
really
like
a
20
strong
minutes.
story with the old ones either, though.
Exactly.
It was like hey, this is just visual, like, big monster. Come on.
Exactly.
Go.
But wasn't there another one in between, like a King Kong?
Yes. So the second one, which was kind of the stealth sequel, was King Kong Skull Island.
Right.
Or Kong Skull Island. And you didn't really know it was a sequel until the very end, where they had the after credit scene. They're doing like the Marvel thing with the after credit scene, and then you're like, hey, wait a minute, that's Godzilla. And then you see all the other monsters, and you're like, oh, they're getting ready to do more. And so this movie, Godzilla King of Monsters, picks up 5 years basically after that. After, there's been attack on cities and like people have died, and this is kind of like, okay, now we're moving forward with this story, and this is what the world looks like now that these monsters are around. And so it's really the third movie in a series, which is it was just a really sneaky way to kind of start building this new kaiju universe that they want to do. I completely dug it. My son wants to go see it again. We saw it in IMAX, and I like loud. Oh my God.
It was like rock concert loud.
He told his younger brother, he's like, dude, you should have gone with us. He's like, man, there's one scene. He's like, man, Godzilla like swam by the seat, and the seats were rumbling. I'm like, no, that was the sound that's how loud it was. The seats didn't move in the theater. It was just that loud. But I dug it. I liked it a lot.
Good pitch of it.
Yeah, great music, great sound, or like original music, original Godzilla yell kind of thing. It was just it would hit all those fan service buttons from the old school movies. If you'd ever watched any of those, like when he powers up and all of that was present. The big fights with the monsters, all of it was present, and it was and humans being ineffectual to do anything about it. It's a fabulous movie.
What was Eleven's part in the movie?
Let me see, how can I explain this without giving away spoilers? She's the daughter of two scientists, and one of which has devised a way to, I don't want to say communicate with the kaiju, but interact with them. And I really don't want to say more because it's like a pivotal big plot point to the movie. But so she's the daughter of two of the characters. But the best part is they didn't really like put her out there like a main character. Mm-hmm. She's just a great part of a great ensemble cast. Nice. And it was just really well done. It was very well acted. The stakes were very high, and it was, when the humans fight the monsters, it was awesome to see, like, yes, this is the futility of this. This is, when you have a monster that gets up, monster that lives in a volcano, as in Rodan, or you have a monster that when he wakes up, the mountains disappear because the mountains actually were the monster. There's nothing you can do about that. When Godzilla's taller than all of your skyscrapers, what are you going to do? What do you have to throw at him other than a nuke that they had to make up a bomb in the movie, right? Because a nuke just isn't strong enough. Which is funny because nukes are actually give him his power, so it's like, The nuke, and I have to give the Japanese props for this. They say that the reason Godzilla woke up is because of America's nuclear testing on the Bikini Atoll before they dropped the bombs on Japan. So they're like, well, whatever they did woke him up and made him stronger. So I think it might have been some kind of analogy for basically a nuclear powered monster, as in America, destroying Japan.
That's what the metaphor for it always was.
Right.
I mean, that I remember learning that as a kid.
Well, didn't the Godzilla movies come out not too long after World War II?
Yeah, it was after.
And it was done by Japan, who was the ones that got the bombs dropped on them. So yeah, that makes sense.
And then they also laid seeds for King Kong versus Godzilla, which we knew that was coming if you'd paid attention to these movies.
That's the new post credits.
This one. I know that not in this one, but there is a poster that just got leaked from a licensing expo in London, of all places, that is advertising King Kong versus Godzilla. After watching Godzilla King of Monsters, I don't see how Kong has a chance, but whatever. We'll go see it.
Right.
because my boy's gonna be. He's like, Dad, you can just drop me off. I need to go see this movie.
I do need to take issue with something cute that you said at the very beginning of that. With your little dig that once you raise the bar that high, that you can't put out an Atlantic Rim or Pacific Rim.
How was that a dig?
No.
It's like Transmorphers.
It's like saying that Marvel can't put out Endgame and then have another Marvel movie come out that does less than stellar, like Dark Phoenix.
That technically isn't a Marvel. It was a Fox
Still
movie.
Marvel.
It is now, though.
It is now, but Marvel didn't do that movie.
I guarantee Atlantic Rim was not tied to the people.
Pacific Rim, right? True. But I'm just saying, it elevates that genre. Such niche as it is, Godzilla elevates that genre. Now you can talk about Dark Phoenix, and since you want to skip, let's just go ahead and talk about Dark Phoenix for a second. Because, we were going to talk about big scary monsters and then go to cute monsters and talk about Detective Pikachu, which these guys have seen, but I haven't seen yet. But since you want to bring up Dark Phoenix...
No. We can...
This is being widely touted as the worst X-Men film of all time, which is so... It comes out Friday and I still want to go see it because I love the X-Men.
And Dark Phoenix is one of the
that
key...
is... And they can't get it right.
Storylines of X-Men.
It's the Infinity War of the X-Men genre of comics. That is their big thing. Dark Phoenix is one of their huge things.
In my mind, when Marvel takes it over, that is going to be one of the end of the trilogy kind of movies.
I hope not, because Fox has done it twice and screwed it up, and now people have seen the story and know the story, and when they see Marvel do it, it's like, they're not going to go see it. It's like, it's just Dark Phoenix. I've already seen that twice, and it sucked. No. And then they're not going to go see it.
It killed the genre for Hulk movies. People didn't want to go see Hulk movies again, and when they cast Mark Ruffalo in there, people were like, it's cool seeing him in that ensemble. I don't want to see another Hulk movie because the Ang Lee one and that Ed Norton one wasn't horrible.
I actually liked Incredible
Hulk. But man, the Hulk, the Ang Lee one, was so bad that people who weren't diehards okay, I'm confused. How does that tie into the second one? It's like, it was not a sequel. They were 2 years apart. How is that not a sequel? It's like, no, it was one bad movie. Okay, that didn't happen. Another movie that was okay, but still not great.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Dark Phoenix is looking like it's just going to be a complete stinker for formerly Fox, now Disney, which they're going to go scorched earth on that anyway. And I think poor performance by this film just means that none of those people will get retained. Yeah. Not a one. And so...
It's such a bummer.
Is it?
I didn't want Dark Phoenix to be pushed away so that Marvel... I wanted Marvel to do Dark Phoenix. Because it fits so well into the galactic...
And that's who should have done it. But Fox put this in motion before the Marvel deal went through. So Marvel had nothing to do with Fox doing this deal. But I think this movie actually got pushed up because the original director for First Class wanted to do Dark Phoenix. Then he wanted to do Apocalypse. But they really dug what he was doing, and they were like, oh, hey, let's just switch this around and push this up and make this the thing. And of course that director's gone or whatever, and I think I'm getting those details kind of fuzzy because I read that real quick a couple weeks ago, so I have to get that fresh in my mind. But so it looks like it wasn't done well. It was rushed and it was screwed up.
Okay.
Again.
Well, they did a bunch of reshoots and stuff too, didn't they?
And they still haven't started the reshoots for New Mutants. So guess what?
New Mutants needs to go away.
I don't care if it's on the film slate or not. This movie, Dark Phoenix, is going to do bad. I seriously doubt. I don't care whether it's on the slate or not. I doubt it. I'll shave the left half of my beard off if Disney puts New Mutants in the theaters. You mark it down, write it down. What's June 5th? It's my birthday. How do I not know that? I will shave off the left half of my beard if New Mutants is released in the theaters, and I will film an episode just like that.
I look forward to that. I do look forward to that.
Disney, please don't let me down because my wife will kill me. She doesn't like my face. I have to have facial hair. So anyway, enough about the travesty of the X-Men.
It's a bomb. It's a stinker. It's the same thing. Like Planet Hulk would have been an awesome movie in my opinion, but because of how bad the other Hulks did, it never is going to happen because of.
But you got a good Planet Hulk movie.
They got it.
It's called Thor Ragnarok.
They had to commingle it in order to make it palatable. He couldn't have got his own movie.
That's just as much Universal's fault as it is not fans going to go see it. It's just as much. Universal does not want to play ball with Marvel and let them do a solo Hulk movie. They don't want to do the Sony deal where they don't want that sweetheart deal where they don't have to pay for anything and they just get all the proceeds and then Marvel just gets the merchandise. Right? That's what they're doing with Spider-Man. Universal doesn't even want to do that. It's like, that doesn't cost you anything. And you get a guaranteed $200 million banger.
Right.
That's free money. Universal ain't doing that great. Take the money, stupid. And then Marvel gets merchandise. That's a great deal. I don't understand why they don't want to take it. So,
all right, we've had enough crappy news this last
episode. I want to hear about.
Let's
talk about Detective Pikachu because I want you guys to convince me to go see it.
Detective Pikachu was a very enjoyable movie. It was what I thought. Ryan Reynolds made the movie. He really did make the movie. The CGI was great. It was what I expected. It wasn't Sonic. It was what I expected
Sonic isn't going to be what you expected
Pokemon to look like. And probably the thing that I liked the most was I took my son to see it, and we connected on it. Like, we were both like, yeah, this is a really fun movie. My favorite part in the whole movie probably was the mime part of it.
The one that they showed in the trailer?
Yeah. There's
you got a little bit more to it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
But that was probably my favorite bit of the whole movie. Because Hayden even asked me, he's like, so what was your favorite part of it? And I definitely thought the part where he's running away. He's not moving. And then they get in and they start interrogating him. And they figure out, I won't spoil it, but they figure out a way to interrogate him by manipulating his mime abilities to get him to talk. It was a good movie.
It was ingenious. It was a very fun sequence.
So now here's a question: without spoiling after credit scenes, am I safe to assume that this is being set up for a sequel, or?
I didn't stay to see if there was an end credit scene.
There was nothing after, no post credits. It was just straightforward credits, and then
or did even in the film did it look like they were going to?
No,
really?
It was a standalone.
Well, at the end, I mean, they set it up where he's going to stay where the movie takes place. He's not from that place, and he decided, you know what, hey, I think I'm just going to stick around here for a while. So, I mean, in that sense, I guess they set it up for a potential sequel. I think they were smart in the way that they did it because you don't have to say a sequel if it makes enough money. Oh, hey, you know what? Yeah,
right.
We're going to do part 2.
Right.
Because, yeah, why not?
I don't know. I guess it's hard for me now to think that anybody would do anything with a franchise like that has a built-in audience and not do more than one movie and try to milk it, right? Because everybody tries to milk it for trilogy or, or 7 or 8 movies.
I think it's smart to do it as a one-off and test the waters and not say, hey, this is going to be a sequel, because then if it stinks, then you're like, oh, well, we said we were going to make another one, now we can't.
Yeah.
I think they did a good way of making it standalone, had nothing to do with any of like the Pokemon training, had nothing to do with that. It was its own story, and they just tested it, see how it went. I think now that they see how it's doing, I think it will turn into a sequel. But I don't think it'll be a sequel. I think it'll be another movie
just
in
another
the
Detective
Pokemon universe.
Just another Detective Pikachu film, or just another Pokemon universe film, or universe film.
They can't do I won't spoil, but they can't do another Detective Pikachu.
They could still do it with the same players, though. They could do the next movie and just have here's what the new adventure is. So I mean, there is a way that they could do it in that same universe that they created for this. Because yes, this does wrap up why he's, a detective, and so yeah, they put a nice bow on that. But you've got the main character and Pikachu they could go on another adventure, and it could be the same human going forward.
But it couldn't be Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. There's a reason why that.
Okay, so now I need to see it, but I'm kind of catching the gist of what you're saying. I just it's. Well, I guess I have to. Can I borrow a kid that needs to go see it again? Because I don't think my kid's going to go see it, and it's going to be really creepy to see a 44-year-old man sitting in a movie theater by himself eating a giant bucket of popcorn watching Detective Pikachu.
Aaron, you were a fan of Pokemon, right?
I was a fan of Pokemon.
See, and I hated Pokemon. I thought it was just stupid when it came out. But I mean, I was a teenager, so I mean, it wasn't my.
I was right. I was right at the age that they were aiming at when Pokemon came out.
My kids both love Pokemon, for the past, since Pokemon Go came out, they're like, what's this? And so I showed them what it was, and it just took off from there. And, 13 and 11-year-old on either side of me in the theater, and my 13-year-old was just going nuts. I mean, the whole time, he's just like, he kept, like, talking, like, every time something happens, like, oh, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so. I'm like, dude, seriously, bring it down. There's other people in here. And so I had to like reel him in a little bit, but I had as much fun watching the movie as I did watching him.
Yeah,
really dig this movie. For him, this movie was the same way that Endgame just like hit that spot for me where I'm like, oh man, this was such a good movie. Watching him do that, because I've never seen him just like get so jazzed about it. There's movies that he's like, oh, that was fun, I liked it. And it was him saying those words, but I didn't see it on him. He could not hide this. I mean, Noel, you could hear the smile in every word that he said. I mean, and we're driving home, and he couldn't stop talking about it. And I'm like, you know what? You keep going. You keep enjoying this. Just relish in it, buddy. And we're 2 minutes away from the house. I'm like, are you going to be able to sleep when we get home? Because it was 1 in the morning when we got out of the theater. He's like, Dad, I don't know. I'm like, okay. So he's going to do a review on his YouTube channel, Lego Swappers, So look for that coming soon. I'm going to help him, put that together, because I'm like, you need to do this. It'll help you process what you're feeling about it, be able to talk about it. Out. Yeah. So we'll just do a spoiler review for it on his channel. But for me, I really dug it. I mean, I'm a Ryan Reynolds fan. I've loved him ever since You Guys Are Girl on a Pizza, sitcom that he cut his teeth on, that I remember watching and thinking, this guy, he's going to go places. He needs to do something. And saw a whole lot of nothing for a long time.
It took him a long time, didn't it?
Well, he did a lot of rom-coms. He did
a lot of rom-coms, and then it just went to, like, raunchy comedy.
Van Wilder.
Like, that's with Van Wilder and, like, all that. And I'm like, okay, I would like something that's a little bit... I mean, I don't like gutter humor. Not true. I like a little bit of it, but pull it back some. And he's just a little bit further over the line than what I can get away with watching in my store. And if I can't watch it in here, I probably can't watch it, because when I'm at home, I sleep. That's all I do at my house.
So you're not watching Deadpool in here?
No. So, I mean, I can enjoy it. Hitman Bodyguard, I can watch it after Georgia Lock and everybody's gone. And if I'm still like doing stuff, catching up from the day. But yeah, I mean.
Which, real quick, just to interrupt real quick, there is a rumor that there's a sequel. But
that was such a great movie.
Let me dig a little bit further. And see, I could have swore that came across my eyeballs not too long ago that Sam and Ryan were working on a sequel to Hitman Bodyguard.
I would enjoy that very much so, because I like that first one.
Yeah. Well, nobody can curse, and I mean.
They rivaled each other so well. It was like watching two
martial arts masters, it's like watching two martial arts masters have a fight. It's like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
And I bet 80% of it was improv.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Can you imagine? I mean, just the goodness that was on the cutting room floor. Like, we can't put all of this in, but somewhere the director probably has like cans of that stuff just sitting at home, or digital, USB sticks of that sitting at home, like. Sometimes I just pop this in and watch it because it's hilarious.
See, and in that, just saying how much of it's improv, that's Ryan Reynolds. I mean, he'll have 100 ideas of how to do a scene. Sam is very much, give me the script. I'm going to read what's on the paper, and that's what I get. But you say the right thing to him, he's going to react. So I think all of his, it's not improv comedy, is
reactionary.
Hey, mother, just reacting to what was just said in his direction.
Well, and when you get with somebody who's really good at improv, you can kind of start riffing off of them.
Oh, no
you start
doubt.
feeling what they're doing, and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, this is what we're doing? Okay, I got something too. And then you kind of, it's like playing tennis, and you start volleying that back. Obviously, I don't follow tennis because I can't even say the words. So, yeah. You start hitting the little green ball back to them when they start.
Don't worry about it. Nobody watching this.
Nobody watches. Yeah. Nobody. Well, they watch tennis, but they're probably most likely just watching girls' tennis.
Right.
Yeah. There's a reason for it, but we won't even get to that.
So, my final on it, I'd watch it. It was a good movie. It was very enjoyable. For somebody who is not a Pokemon fan at all, I really enjoyed visually what they did. I knew that all the Pokemon were CGI characters. They did not feel like CGI characters, though. It was done that well. I mean, they look like what they were supposed to look like. I recognized a lot more Pokemon than I thought that I would. So, well done.
Well, and on that note, we'll see everybody next week. F you. And next week, we talk about elevator pitches.